Come get some.
Ladies and gentlemen, Atrocity Press is in the house. Max, Johnny, welcome back to the show again.
What's up?
Hey, thanks for having us.
Well, glad to have you guys. I usually get you guys when you start a campaign. Tonight, you're closing one out.
Yes, we are.
You got what? How many hours you got left on that? 39 hours, close enough. It's not going to finish during the show. I'm not staying on that late. But is it safe to say, I think that Mary Machinegun, I'm going to screw up the title. Wait, half gone, folks. I'm half lit before I even start the show.
Nice.
Is it safe to say that Mary Machinegun is probably one of your more successful Atrocity Press titles at this point?
Yeah, it's the most successful one so far, for sure. It's been around the longest, so that makes more sense. It's had longer to build an audience.
That's what I hear from my LCS guy Michael Tierney. Is that's the kinds of books that he finds still sell in the comic store, is the ones that have a longevity behind them. Something that's not going to be, hey, this is just 4 issues, now we're going back to number 1 again. People got tired of that. They want something like a Flash or a Batman that's got 300 and something issues behind it, to where it looks like it's got some staying power.
Yeah, us too.
Yeah, you got whole racks of books behind you there. Is that what you find sells in your shop?
Yeah, I sell everything in my shop. I got figures, comics, all of it. I think a lot of it, what sells, it's funny, I have an area in my shop just for Kickstarters. Because I try to, I got a lot of friends that do Kickstarters and just a lot of people that I like to support. Just because I think a lot of people are just tired of the recycling of the storylines. How many times can you do certain things? Especially like when you're talking like Batman, it's been around for how many decades? And they got to make sure they have like 8 or 9 different Batman lines all going at the same time. After a while, you really kind of flood that market where people want something fresh, something new.
It was good when it was Batman, Detective. Once a year, there's an annual.
Yes.
4 times a year, there's a family.
See, I love the annuals. I would love when the whole DC crossovers were based on annuals. That was the events.
Yeah.
I loved that. Like the Armageddon, it was just so great.
I loved them when the annuals didn't have a crossover. It was just, here's a great big honking story that we saved special for once a year.
Right. No, me too. I think but no, I mean, a lot of it is, you go through previews and you go through the different comic companies and it's like, what's missing? What's really missing right now? And that's kind of what we try to do with Atrocity Press. It's how Max started this whole thing. Why did he write Mary? There wasn't a Mary out there. There wasn't a Mary Machinegun. He created it, he developed it, and it's fitting a gap that's not there.
Yeah, and I'm trying to place where that gap really started and how it ended, because it seemed like through the 90s there was plenty of Mary Machinegun.
I can say it. Top Gun's gone. I mean, that's one of the biggest gaps. GG Studios is no longer there. Image isn't what it used to be. Image is a lot of indies where they used to have Top Cow was under Image. You had your Witchblade, you had your Darkness, you had your, Kiss, you had your darker comics.
Yeah.
And right now you really don't have that really edge that you used to have.
I remember the Chaos line where it wasn't just Lady Death, but you had Chastity, you had Bad Kitty. I'm sure there were more.
Well, Bad Kitty was actually with Broadsword. That's with Jim Balin.
Was that him?
Yeah, I think a lot of the Bad Kitty. I'm pretty sure. No, that's Boo Boo Kitty. I'm sorry, Boo Kitty. Yeah, that's right. You're right. I stand correct. And I get confused because there's a few kitties out there.
Well, he did the Three Little Kittens as well, which was a fun little series that didn't have the staying power that Tarot did, which he's still doing.
Oh no, I still subscribe to Tarot. It's one of my favorite books. I mean, I think he's a marketing genius. I love that every other month, like you were talking about, every other month I know that Previews is going to have that new Tarot. It's that constant, it's that dedication, and I love it that it's just him and Holly. They're together, they're working it together, and that's just one of that, to me, is that staying power, because you know what you're going to get.
I've got a Jim print right here of Tarot right in front of me, number 35 of 50, and I've got a Tarot print over on the side wall there. That's the Christmas one where she's got the little Santa hat on.
Nice.
I've described the costume in total right there.
Well, and that's kind of what we're trying to do. I mean, we're not at a Jim Balin level yet. It's not like we're going to be able to pump out these comics every other month. But, I mean, that's what we're striving to get. I mean, when we started, it was a book a year. Last year, I think we did 1 or 2 Marys. We did 1 Human Hunters. We did 1 Ninja Bimbos. Towards the end, we were able to get issue 2 out. This year, we're on track to put out 3 Human Hunters, 3 Marys, hopefully 3 Marys, and 3 Ninjas. I mean, and that's the point. We want to be able to at least get them to where they're semi-quarterly. And then we're just going to keep advancing. And that's what a lot of the books we do, like Mary. Yeah, right now this is the end of the story arc. So like this is your time to get this issue. And then you got our catch-up tiers where you can get the other, issue 1, 2, and 3. But we've already written the whole next story arc. It's already done. Boom, in the bag. And we're already playing around with ideas for the following story arcs after that. Max has got, some great plans going on with Mary. We do a lot of collaborating with stuff. Human Hunters, right now we're getting ready to start mailing out next week. Human Hunters issue 2. Issue 3 is going to be coming in Kickstarter already, and it's going to be end of February, March timeframe. Following soon after that's going to be Ninja Bimbos 3. So we're trying to get it where about every month, every other month, you're going to be getting a book. Our goal is to try to get about 10 Kickstarters in just this year.
So it took about a year and a half to 2 years of making books and distributing books before you're like, okay, we got the rhythm down. We know what needs to be done when. We know how long it takes each thing to happen.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it was, Max, starting he started Atrocity Dress by himself. And we've talked about this in the past, and he came up with Mary Machinegun. And with issue 2, we started talking, he's like, hey, let's bring you on. So like he had a good run going with issue 1 and 2. Then all of a sudden we're going to throw a curveball in and he's going to bring in a business partner. What does that look like? How's it look that, now I got my own properties, we're sharing properties. And, this is a lot about Max, his baby's Mary Machinegun. And he's like, here, you're taking half of it and you're going to write half of it with me, and I do the same thing with my stuff. We collaborate together. I couldn't even picture not working on comics without Max. It works so well together. And that's where now we got it rolling. We got, our artists are just incredible. I can't talk enough about our artists. Fern Court, our art director, he does the artwork and the coloring on Mary. And he does so much other stuff. When you see our Kickstarter and look at what it looks like, all the backgrounds and our and all the covers and all the artwork, that's Fern helping us out, knocking that stuff out.
So he's not just a contracted artist. He's part of the company.
Yeah, I mean, me and Max we own Atrocity Press, but we have our own art division under it. And like Fern Court is our art director. And then we have Mateus, who actually is like the main artist on Human Hunters. But in this Kickstarter, he did the prints and he did the cards. So, you know, we keep it in-house whenever we can.
Oh yeah.
And it's pretty much the Cords and the Bennetts that you guys work with, right?
Bennis, yeah.
Yep. Well, Mariah always does our cover B. That's kind of like been our new thing, you know, the B, Mariah, you know. LC, we've got a really good partnership, and he does our cover C's now. And that's like also the consistency. You know, when you go out to a Kickstarter, you're going to know our cover A is always done by our interior artist. You know, that's always been a pet peeve of mine just forever. And thank God Max shares it, because when I first came in, he's like, hey, our cover A is always our interior artist. And I'm like, great, because I'd like to know what the art is that I'm buying based on that cover.
Yeah, if you see green beans on the can, you want to open it up and not find pineapple.
Yeah. I mean, granted, you want your other artists, you know, for your variants, but that's one thing me and Max just really, you know, agree with, and it works out great that cover A is going to be that interior artist. So for being named Mary Machinegun, I sure see her with a sword an awful lot. But it looks like she starts to become more of her namesake in this issue. Is that, am I seeing this right, or have I been missing something?
Nope. She mainly uses a sword, but in this issue, she gets her main special machine gun. It's when the actual machine gun, her namesake, gets issued to her.
Okay, so I wasn't missing anything. I thought I was like losing it there. I'm old, so that happens.
No. Nope.
And this is the final issue of this particular arc.
The story arc. Yeah.
So for people who've been waiting to see if they were ever going to finish it, you know, it's like, I'm not going to get a #1 of a Kickstarter because I might get left on a cliffhanger. This is the last issue. You can go back and get all 4 issues now.
And it will continue. And the next story arc will be a continuation. But it'll be
a different subtitle, right? I mean, it'll be Mary Machinegun : something.
Mary Machinegun Dark America.
Yep.
Ooh, I like that title.
Yeah, and like I was saying, you know, for those who wondering, you know, hey, you know, do I want to back this? Like you just said, you know, we've already got the next story arc already written. You know, it's already done. We pretty much up to 7 or 8 now issues already in the bag. So this sucker's gonna be going on probably till one of us dies. And
well, I hope that's
at least that's the goal.
A long time.
That's what we're hoping. And there you go. That's your cover A. And Max, I mean, you got all the stuff for who's doing what covers here.
Well, that's Fern Cord.
Yeah.
He did the colors, the pencils, the inks, all of it.
The whole ball of wax.
I really like the flame wings and the golden, like, glowing eyes.
And there's your machine gun. There you go, RJ. There's the machine gun.
It's like a Phoenix moment here. So, so if she's had to go this long to get the machine gun, this isn't like Army surplus. This machine gun must be something or mean something. Hephaestus said, "Look what I've built. Take this."
It's basically her version of Mjolnir.
Okay.
Shoots lightning bolts, bullets, all sorts of stuff.
Universal caliber machine gun.
Yep. It's called a variance rifle.
Ass kicker.
It's called a variance rifle. It can shoot 45s, 5.56, and 7.62 rounds.
We got to ban that.
Right away.
The gun or the ass shot? Which one are you talking about now?
Well, no. We shouldn't ban either one of them, actually.
Okay.
But yeah, this is quite a shot here.
Yeah, Mariah Benez.
Yeah. So if you're getting mad at somebody objectifying a woman, it's a woman who drew it. So
exactly, and it's a woman objectifying a rifle.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, she's given that rifle a once over there. So And apparently it's working because the rifle is upright and hard as steel. So
Yeah, she's happy to see that rifle. She's happy to see that rifle. And
I went there.
Oh man, we salute you.
LC, is that Freitas?
Could be.
Freitas, yeah.
We call it Freitas. It all matter. It doesn't matter.
That's the cover C.
Mm-hmm.
You guys don't
Yeah, I
have
love that cover C.
With colors by B. Navarro. And I believe Fernando colored this one.
That looks like his colors. I was going to say, I almost thought it was him drawing it until I looked up and saw Fabio Samao.
No, Fabio Samao. That guy is great.
Yeah, I love Fabio.
He's working with Tom.
You guys don't have any ugly covers. And, you know, obviously the editor never thinks they hire an ugly color or cover. But, you know, you know what I mean. You see like 5 variants and they're not all even close to being the same style. You get, you know, one's a chibi cover and one's a Steph cover. Let's say that.
Yeah.
They're wildly variant. These are all, you know, realistically drawn for superhero characters.
Yeah, I tried to keep it pretty similar in the same vein of art style because we had 10 covers and I wanted to be kind of similar.
Now, are these 10 covers that are like 5 covers and then the other version of the 5 covers?
No, it's 10 individual covers.
Oh, wow. That's like, oh, hey, hello, Kara.
Yeah.
So you went and did it finally.
Yep, she did the cosplay cover. We got that done.
You took my advice. You got
our first cosplay.
You got our girl Kara on your cover there. That's
nice.
I'm not ashamed.
Yeah, we ran into her at Planet Comic-Con in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And chatted with her and her husband for a while, and then, you know, we just kind of talked about it, and she was like, "Yeah, I'll do the cosplay." I'm like, "Sweet, let's do it."
I knew she would be up for it, and you know, her husband's putting her in another book right now. They're always got something on it. Now, she's also doing the prints here, huh?
Yep, there's 3 prints that come with the cosplay cover when you buy the cosplay cover, and these are the 3 prints.
So how much of this is photoshopped and how much of it is her posing? I mean, that sword looks like it's cutting her ass right now.
Yeah. I don't know how much of it's photoshopped. This one doesn't look too photoshopped. It almost became the cover.
Yeah, we don't want to know about the magic. We'll let them, you know, we'll keep the curtain closed.
Oh, this one's a nice one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too bad she didn't have a machine gun. So here's, you got another LC Freitas. Is that a cover or is that a pinup now?
No, that's a cover.
Another cover. Okay. More covers.
But
these are the ones with the, yeah, the not safe for
cover.
Yeah. Sometimes known as the naughty and nice variations and all that. So this is the only not safe for work cover, assuming how prudish your ball may be.
Yep. It's the only not safe for work cover. And it actually means something because that scene is in the book.
Are the little fiery stickers in the book too, or
no?
Okay.
There's no nudity though. It's just you don't get to see the nudity part in the book.
Well, you look at that. Refunds are coming in now. Come on, you let the cat out of the bag, dude. But you do have other prints here, and if that's your thing, you can get the nudity on the prints.
Yeah, if they get the not safe for work cover, they get all these prints.
Oh, they come with it. If that's part of the set.
Yep.
Okay.
We don't do them as add-ons per se. When we do the non-safe for works, that's always a part of the prints are always a part of it.
Are these like the comic cover sized prints?
They're usually 8.5 by 5.5.
Oh, so half the size of a comic cover.
Yeah, that way they fit in the Geminis really well.
Okay. And then, of course, you can still get the 2023 calendar from Atrocity Press.
Yes, you can.
Still January, folks. It's early enough.
And this just shows up to August. It does go to December, but if you want to see the rest of them, you got to buy the book or buy the calendar.
It's not a library, kid. You got special
First
combo
one's
packs
free,
here.
isn't that what they say?
Yes.
These are our combo packs. We got the Fern Cord combo where you can get his cover A and his non-safe for work. And then we did a combo pack for the LC.
It seemed like you had more of the Bennis work on the previous covers, or maybe I'm thinking of a different title, but
Well, we did. Was it one of them? We had Mariah and Fred, the brother. Every now and then we'll get one done by Fred. On this one, we just did Mariah. Mariah's the constant.
okay. So it's not like you're
on issue 2. We had all the Benezes.
Yeah,
Fred, Mariah, and Ed.
That's what I was remembering. And I saw it petering down. I was like, are they kind of getting away from getting Bennis work, or?
we just try to rotate. I mean, it's not like us getting away from them or vice versa. It's just when we do a Kickstarter, we sit down. We're like, hey, let's go. What are we going to have our constants, and then what are we going to change out? That way, we can have something different.
Yeah, and while this is for issue 4, you do have all 1, 2, and 3 available too, and you can get entire runs. But this is still just this issue rare, I believe.
That's all the regular standard covers, and then you have a tier that's all the covers with the non-safe for work.
Okay, but you only had one non-safe for work cover on this campaign. That's why I was kind of thrown. Is that so? But you had several regular covers for this campaign. And that's where I was getting lost. I didn't know if this was all of this campaign and then this was all the previous campaigns.
No, that one is all the different covers. That first one right there. What you have, the very top one you're showing there, that's a full atrocity press. That's all our cover A's. So it's like Human Hunters 1 and 2, Ninja Bimbos 1 and 2, and Machinegun 1, 2, and 3. And then we go down to, if you just want to buy every cover, that's the Safe for Work edition. Following that is the full Mary non-Safe for Work edition, or the Naughty edition. So basically, it's all the regular covers with the non-Safe for Work.
Yeah, we don't want to send the not safe for work out to people that don't want it, you know.
Yeah, I can understand that. It's like, giving out Playboys and trick or treat candy bags.
Yeah,
it's not well received. So what am I looking at here now? That chick's got werewolf arms.
Yep, this is a crossover print with Big Dog Inc. and Mary Machinegun. The girl with the werewolf arms is a werebear named Naomi from Ursa Minor.
I love that. It's a you say werebear, and all I can think of is like first of all, I think of like a rainbow on her shirt. But sure enough, she's got a teddy bear head on her shirt.
Yep.
And of course, she's giving us the werebear stare from the center.
And
the
way to get this print is to back Mary Machinegun in a physical level, and then back Tom's campaign at a physical level. And then if you do both of those, you get this mini print for free.
I'm seeing a lot of people do that. I think that's an excellent way of encouraging people to back other people's campaigns while still getting the stuff for your own.
That's what we thought.
I'm still waiting for somebody to successfully pull off the crossover story. I have one, I guess, that is technically successful, but it's kind of weird. They successfully pulled off the crossover, but they've never successfully pulled off the single character issue. And I'm talking about the Monster MD Shinobi Sasquatch crossover. So we got the crossover before we ever got any Shinobi Sasquatch. We got some congratulations here from Q. Hey, thank you, William. Appreciate that.
Thank you, William.
We are trying to get you guys some backers to close out this last day. And I've got to pull the curtain aside because my share is on a monitor to my side here, and I can't read what I share. You have gone up. You are at 10,820, which is higher than where we started, which means I believe we've
helped out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. I can't believe I don't have all my video. Pops, I've got to transfer my studio videos over here. I cannot play the shake and bake moment, which is what we normally play whenever somebody helps out. I am at a loss. You know what it is? I just got all my videos and I loaded them in my StreamYard. I'm like, that's the only place I'm ever going to need them, so I didn't keep them.
Then you lost them?
Well, I don't have physical copies of them, and you can't get them. You can't pull them out of your StreamYard studio as a download. You can just delete them. So that kind of sucks. I'm trying not to beat this one up all that much, Pops, because it's like my standard studio is so full of stuff that it's like, as I start the show, I'm like scrolling up real fast. Click that thing. Okay, now I got 15 seconds to scroll down here and set this thing. This one's nice and condensed. Everything's just right there as I need every single thing. I'm able to relax a little bit. Yeah, that's why there's nothing in it.
Nice, Pops. Nice.
I'm keeping that Spartan as possible, so it runs smoother. Yeah, that would be great if it was 12K or 13K this time. I mean, it's about to break 11 right now. Let's see that happen tonight. That would be fantastic.
Oh, absolutely.
In fact, I haven't looked at the pricing on the tiers yet. So let me take a peek at some of this stuff. What are we charging for these books? $15 for a physical copy?
Yep.
Have you guys been paying attention to what things crowdfund for?
Usually $20-$25.
I know. Do you guys want to make money?
Yeah, but we do. But I also want to get the books out to as many people as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, the backer number. The backer number is more important to me than the money number.
Well, that's going to get taken care of tonight. You're going to get. What's your record for backers?
225.
Yep. Okay, so we got 218 backers. We need 7 more to tie it, 8 more to pass it.
Yep. You haven't beat it yet.
Well, I'm gonna take it down here from just a little bit here because I don't want to dox my credit card information on screen. That would be a bad idea. But while I'm taking a look at it on the side here, Max, why don't you give the audience the story so far, who she is, how she came to be, and all that stuff for all the new people. This might be some people's first exposure to Mary Machine Gun.
All right. Issue 1. Mary Machine Gun starts out as a vampire hunter, killing a vampire. Once she's done with that, she gets transferred to Kentucky to fucking hunt some werewolves. So she gets to Kentucky and starts hunting these werewolves, and then she finds out that the cardinal who runs the church that she's staying at is a total dirtbag, and he's a pervert. So she goes out, continues hunting the werewolves, keeps coming back and making reports to him. He keeps hitting on her, and he's got like a harem of women that he keeps with him.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah. So, and he mistreats them, obviously, because he's powerful in the church. And then in the second issue, Mary has broken the rules of the Templar Order. So they send one of the internal magistrates, which is actually just Latin for internal police, internal magistratus. And then that actually sends Charlotte after her, who is a person that she knows really well because they trained together when they were first coming up through the order together. And when you come through the order, you train in pairs. And then at the end of your training, you're given one single task. And whichever one of the two people completes the task first becomes a Templar. And the other one becomes an internal magistratus. So Mary became the Templar, and Charlotte becomes the internal magistratus. And Charlotte hunts down Mary. There's a big fight. Mary loses. Then she gets connected with the Valkyrie, who teaches her battle focus in this issue. So she'll be doing her training with the Valkyrie in this issue. Ophelia is still controlling Charlotte. There's a whole lot of revelations in this book, in this last issue. I mean, like, everything that's been held back is laid bare in this issue.
Oh, this is beautiful. Okay. You guys planned this, right? Because what has happened is, for anybody who doesn't have the Mary Machine Gun stuff, pick your cover and add it in there, and then add on issues 1 through 3, and your total is 69.
Yep. It's almost like we planned it that way.
It's actually pronounced 69, dude.
If you're us, what number are we thinking of? 69, dudes.
I'm glad it was. I'm glad it was cheap. I'm glad 69 is the cheap one, because it could have been 420, right?
Well, no, I don't think anything goes up that high on this campaign. One day.
Well, 420 with a decimal wouldn't have been so bad, but okay, we got that taken care of. Now I can go back to the campaign.
Hey, we got another backer. Thanks, RJ.
Hey, where'd that come from? So it's good. I guess it's going to take a little bit to show, but
I just hit refresh. There it goes.
There are 219 backers. 10,889. Come on, guys. Let's start throwing some money at this thing. You're running out of time.
7 more backers. And we
tomorrow's
got
Friday. It's payday.
Yeah.
Kick that last bit of money you got out that you've been holding on to. Epic status.
I mean, like, certain covers are a little bit more expensive. Like John Royal's cover, a little more expensive because he's a more expensive artist.
Yeah. And I almost pulled the trigger on the on the cosplay cover, but I really like Mariah Bennis's art. I like it better than Ed's art, actually. So
does a lot of people do. I mean, Mariah is, when it comes to the female form, she's got it. But she's looked at it her entire life, so she's probably pretty good at figuring it out.
Yeah. Now, of course, the 1 through 3 add-on is all the Fern Cord covers. There weren't the variations on those, but they're still good covers. So
yeah. Well,
I'll break up the pattern a little bit with the number 4 being by Mariah.
We did that. Actually, issue number 1 is by Mariah, I believe. Yeah. Because this was before we started the standard cover A thing. Because at first I was like, all right, we put our best cover as cover A, or our most well-known artist will be cover A. And then I was like, nah, I want to make it to where it's the interior artist. And then we started that with Neo Tokyo, and it's been the same way ever since for the last 3 years.
Now, do the Atrocity Press books, and you probably answered this before, but they're all coexistent, co-equal, same universe kind of stuff?
Sort of. Ninja Bimbos versus Zombies from Deep Space is in the same universe. It's just like years in the future.
Okay. I'm just wondering, when we get to see an atrocious crisis.
We're looking at some crossover stuff maybe next year.
Maximum atrocity. That would be great. Yeah.
Yeah. But we're looking at some crossover stuff next year. So me and Johnny got to do some research into some things, because we research everything that we do a lot. Like there's a book that we were writing that has to deal with the witch trials, and we didn't back up off of anything that they did to those women. We wanted to show it straight up and show how horrible it was.
Oh yeah. And that if you really want to read up on that kind of stuff, check out Fox's Book of Martyrs sometime, which was fun reading when I was a 12-year-old. The one that sticks out in my head is I don't know what the guy did. Well, I know what he did. He was a martyr. But they beat him, and then they threw him in a sack, and then they poured scorpions in the sack and tied it up and dumped him in the ocean. I was like, damn.
Yeah. But no, on our books, we do a lot of research, because for me, there's nothing that annoys me more than reading a magazine or a book or a comic and be like, oh, you didn't fact check this. You know,
Yeah,
that's
can ruin
just
the whole
my
thing.
thing. And anything we do, we spend hours. I know when I originally was doing Human Hunters, God, I spent months probably researching each character. It was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, we do a lot of like alternate history type things.
Right.
Like in the Mary Machine Gun issue 2, she kills the Beast of Jovedon, which is
Yep.
an actual werewolf that terrorized France. You know, a
Yeah.
werewolf that terrorized France in the 1700s. Well, some guy he was the one that actually killed it. But in the book, Mary kills it and he wakes up and he's the only one conscious or the only one left alive. And the werewolf's dead. And he just assumes, well, I must have killed it because I'm the only one left alive.
And I'm not him. So it can really ruin a story for you if you read something that you know something about and they've got it wrong. It's like the Da Vinci Code. I was like, oh, I was all into that adventure. That was great. And, until I found out that the painting wasn't called the Mona Lisa. It was called La Gioconda. So there's no way that Da Vinci could have hid some sort of secret message in an anagram.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Hey, it's fiction. Let it go.
Yeah. Exactly.
Let it go, RJ. It's suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, well, my rubber band only goes so far before it snaps now. I've read too many comics in my life, too many good comics to allow so many bad ones to get a pass.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
But you guys got so many titles now. Are you thinking of other titles that you haven't launched yet to expand, or you guys kind of like settle?
We've got a new title that's coming out this year called Love and Death. It's about two kind of psychotic chicks that go around killing Russian mobsters because it's a rape revenge story.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like I Spit on Your Grave, but with the Russian mafia.
I can dig that.
So that's pretty cool. I'm excited about that. We've got Mary Machinegun Dark America coming out later this year. I think that's it for new stuff this year. The rest of the year is just rotating through Human Hunters and Ninja Bimbos and Mary Machinegun.
Yeah, Max and I each got a different book that we're on the very early stages for next year.
Now, you pass these books around to different artists, though, right? I mean, Fernando's not doing all of the titles, right?
No, he does Mary Machinegun. Mateus does Human Hunters, and Francisco Cordiero, which is Fern's brother, he does Ninja Bimbos now. It used to be Alexander Ramos. Adam Ramos. Alexander Santana. He used to do the Ninja Bimbos versus Zombies from Deep Space, but he left the company, so we had to switch out artists halfway through a book, and that was super fun. We had to start over again.
Yeah, but that gives you that sort of parallel production where you don't have to wait so long between issues of a single title.
We've always got everything going because the machine is running and oiled to where it's like a book comes out, we kickstart it, and the next book comes out the next month, we kickstart it, the next book comes out the next month, we kickstart it, and it should kind of march on like that. That's the plan.
And what's the delivery on these? You're not wasting any time on these. I mean, this thing's going to finish off tomorrow, and you're going to deliver it in April. That's just a couple of months away here.
It only takes us about 2 days to do a fulfillment when we actually sit down to pack all the packages up and everything.
Yep.
So it's totally doable. We've done it numerous times before. We're a little bit slow behind with the Human Hunters 2, but that's just been printing problems and
the holidays.
The holidays. And
the holidays kind of they had days off and all, and it took our process a lot longer.
Yeah, well, Max, you're an IT guy like me. You work with databases and stuff.
Yep.
I might be cajoled into giving you my table structure and SQL scripts that I use for fulfillment that condenses everything down into faster, streamlined packaging things. But if you're still
That'd be
taking
cool.
2 days to do 200, that's pretty much what I can do too. So
Yeah. It's pretty quick. I mean, Johnny pulls them together and puts the packages together while I'm typing in the data for the mailing information. I do the data entry, and he does the pulling and putting together the boxes. And by the time he's done putting the box together, I'm printing the label. We slap it together and throw it in the box and move on to the next one.
okay, we need to talk after the show, Max. The fact that you're doing data entry already tells me that I can help you out. There should be no data entry at all. So how far out do you see the future of Machinegun? Is there a series finale that's in your head, or is this just like this character is going to go from adventure to adventure to adventure, like Indiana Jones or James Bond?
Pretty much just like Indiana Jones or James Bond until people get sick of it or I get tired of it. One of the two, and I don't think I'll get tired of it. So everyone quits buying it. We quit making it. That's pretty much the way it's going to be.
That's economics, as long as people buy, you keep making, you keep selling. Now,
and we've got plenty of stories. Don't get me wrong. I mean, like it was originally a sister Mary Machinegun because she was working with the Catholic Church, and then I decided to drop the sister part because it restricted the stories I could tell with the character. Because it'd be hard to use the Catholic Church if she's going into some sort of Muslim country to fight a genie or something,
But you say that, and now I'm wondering, was there a crossover print with Sister Mercy, or am I?
There was. You're right.
Okay, thought there was.
Yeah, we did the crossover print with Sister Mercy a couple issues ago.
Okay, because I was thinking that would be another indie character that she might actually work well with for some sort of a crossover story.
Yeah,
but
for sure. Me and Corey have been in talks about it a couple times, but he's busy finishing his story arc now, and we were finishing ours, so we'll revisit it in the future for sure.
The thing about crossovers, they're best done when you ignore the stories going on in each other's books.
Yeah, but we just had to get everything done. We wanted to finish our own storylines, but I mean, because it would be just a one shot if it was a crossover.
Okay, so
outside of canon, one shot, just here's a cool story with two of our characters doing something.
Okay, so here's a nuts and bolts question, because everybody's like, trying to get in on this crowdfunding game. If they like comics, like I'm going to crowdfund a comic, and then 2, 3, 4 years later, shit might happen, might not. What is the time commitment that you guys put in for writing? As the writer, as the production person, how is the layout of your day set up so that you can time manage each project?
Well, me and Johnny write usually a couple days a week when we're actually when we're in the writing phase of the year, because we try to get everything written for the year as soon as possible. That way we know what the scripts, we know where everything's going, we know what we need to do. And when we write from 3 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock in the morning.
Best hours to write.
Yeah, because usually kind of what our method is we start off with an outline. This is what we want to happen. Overall, we have a loose outline in our heads that we'll talk back and forth through for what we want to do for the story arc. And then we'll say for this issue, let's write down and we'll do an outline. And then what we do is, okay, we're going to broaden this out. This part's going to be 4 pages. This will be 5. If there's going to be a fight scene, it's 3 pages. And at that point, when we sit down to write it, it's it's kind of already alive. It's already there. It's like we've already talked it out to where we're just kind of going back and forth on how it's going to flow. And like for us, we write just like this, except instead of seeing this Mary Machinegun 4, it's a Word document, you know, and we're talking back and forth and we're in StreamYard. And it's funny. We started out during COVID just because, you know, the whole distance, and I was going to college at the time, and it just worked out good for us to just jump in. But it's worked out so well, even now that we hang out, we still write the same way. It's just, it works for us.
So do you guys have a Miro board or a physical whiteboard with like sticky notes all over the place that, you know, highlight milestone events?
I used to have a Kanban board that I used to keep track of everything because I've been trained to use Agile. So I had a Kanban board.
I could tell when you said it was Kanban board. I'm like, oh, you got red cards and green cards and yellow cards.
Yeah.
And we used to do all that.
Product management at its best, right, Max?
Yeah. But we kind of pulled away from that and just kind of Johnny runs Human Hunters, I run Mary Machinegun, and we together run Ninja Bimbos. So it's delegation of authority.
Yeah, but by the same token, I mean, like with Human Hunters, yeah, it's my book and all. But when we're writing and we're brainstorming ideas, Max is like, hey, what about this? What about that? You know, and vice versa. Max is really open, like, hey, why don't we do this? You know, so it's not like a live or die type deal.
Yeah.
No. I mean, when it comes to project management, that's what I'm talking about. Like Johnny project manages Human Hunters. I project manage Mary Machinegun. We write them together.
Oh, granted.
So yeah, co-writing and having a partner to bounce stuff off of is important because we can edit ourselves.
I would love to see one of these writing sessions online because I'm like, is it a sort of thing like it's like, hey, what if she did this? Yeah, let's write that down. She does this, or is it more of a role play kind of thing where you just like, you know, throw the dialogue back and forth. You know, you throw something, see what he says back, and then you just like collect it all up. Say, yeah, that was good. Let's just use that.
Well,
I don't know. It's weird.
It's a little bit of both because we'll start out and we'll be like, what should she be doing now? And then we type out what she's doing. And then we get to the dialogue and then we start reading off dialogue back and forth to each other until we come up with like the perfect dialogue sentence. And then we lay that down. Then we put the sound effects in and then we move on to the next panel. We write out what she's doing. And then we write out all the different dialogues that we could possibly use and choose the best one.
Yeah.
And then still it doesn't matter because by the end of it, we go away from it for like a month and then go back and look at it again and read through it. And we'd be like, man, this sounds stupid. What were we thinking?
Yeah, that's when you can find. That's
when that's the plus. Stuff. Yeah, that's the plus of us having most of the stuff done like 6 months to a year in advance because we'll go back a month later, like Max said. But then when we're getting ready to send it to the artwork, you know, we've been away from it for 8 months. We're already on, in some cases, we're on a whole different story arc. Mm-hmm. And we'll go back again and read it one more time. And then there's also a final step that we'll usually proofread it another time before it goes to our letterer, just to make sure there's no spelling, or maybe we want to change a little wording because we have a lot of check and balances just between us.
And we've got an approval system to where Johnny has to approve it, I have to approve it, and Fernando has to approve it for everything to be
check
done.
And balances.
And once it's all approved, it moves forward. It's got to be unanimous.
So the three layer checks and balances on each other. That's cool.
Yep. And it has to be unanimous.
Yeah, and dialogue is difficult because there's this fine line between writing somebody the way that people talk, but you know the way that people talk isn't the dialogue that people want to read.
Yeah,
I love dialogue. See, that's my funnest part of the book is the dialogue. I'm a big old school Josh Whedon fan. You know, Max has it's funny because we'll get writing. He's like, dude, it's a comic, not a book. Because he'll give me crap a lot about because a lot of times it's like it just flows. And I think a lot of it also is me and Max's background. You know, I work in the movie industry writing scripts and working on movies. And so, you know, Max worked in the you know, with movies and all in the past. So it's like, it goes back to like when we're writing, I see everything in my head as a movie, you know, and we've talked that, you know, me and Max, you know, our goal, I'd love for our books to get picked up for movies. I would love that with our background. But of course we're going to produce it and we're going to have final say in it. We're not going to look, you know, but that's one of those things, you know, that's our goal. You know, the goal is to, you know, to put the books around the world. And then the next step, you know, is, hey, if we can maybe someday be successful and make a movie out of these, I'd love to do that.
And I was talking with earlier this week about how, you know, everybody talks about the comic book now being a Netflix pitch and all that. But the one good thing about Netflix is that it allows for this long form storytelling in episodic format. Where, you know, like,
well, even Amazon.
Yeah.
I mean, even Amazon with The Boys, they're doing really well taking the book and making it into a great show. And really, you know, trying things out that's never been really done before. It's pretty raw. You watch The Boys and it's like, wow, that's on TV. Okay.
Yeah. And you see things like, you know, graphic novels like Watchmen that get converted into a movie, and like, oh man, wow, they had to kill so much to fit it in 2 hours. Whereas if they'd have, like, you know, said, hey, here's issue 1, here's an hour on a Monday night. Here's issue 2, here's the next Monday night, an hour. You'd have got so much more out of it.
Well, I think they're even, you know, the culture's changing, you know, because before it's like, you know, I just read today, you know, Marvel's up for an Academy Award for acting. Who would have thought a superhero movie's finally going to be getting recognized, you know? You see these big name actors who 15 years ago would have never been caught dead on a TV show. It was beneath them. But now it's changed. Oh, you know, being on a TV show is just as important as doing the movies. And in some cases, even more. You know, people, I mean, the whole culture has really made a kind of a change in that, where it's acting as an ability, not just where you're at. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's true. Heath Ledger.
Yeah, people are coming around to accepting the superhero movie as something legitimate. Just about the time we're all getting tired of superhero movies. Did we freeze? Oh no, we're moving. Okay.
Yeah, we're moving.
But yeah,
so I was reading a comment for a second. I was like, okay, we got a whole bunch of people out there. So
it's I'm hearing that the superhero fatigue is setting in. I don't know if it is or not, but then I'm thinking, I haven't gone to see any of the superhero movies lately because I just haven't cared enough.
I don't know. I mean, for me, it kind of goes both ways. I love the superhero movies. I love the genre, but there's a lot of them that I'm watching, and I'm just, for me, it comes from a writing ass point. Some of these movies just are the writing is just so weak on them.
Yeah,
super weak.
It's like
I haven't seen a Marvel movie in a long time. I think Endgame was like the last. Well, I mean, I guess I saw Morbius.
Morbius was decent.
Oh, you were the one.
Yeah. Well, and then the Spider-Man was pretty good. That was after Endgame because you got to see all three on the screen.
Yeah.
But like I saw Black Adam, and just to me, the writing, there was just so many, once again, things that I was like, this isn't making sense. You know, the continuity's off. You know, and I think that's what spoils over to these movies. These TV shows, a lot of them have some really good writing.
Yeah. I saw the trailer for the new Shazam movie, and I was like, "There's nothing in this thing that makes me want to see it." The last Shazam movie, the post-credit scene was Mr. Mind. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll come back to see Shazam versus Mr. Mind. That's comic book." And what do I get for a trailer? Shazam and his brothers and sisters fighting the daughters of Atlas. Like, what the hell? Who cares? These people are nobodies.
What happened to Mr. Mind?
Well, and tell you the truth, I love that first one. I would have to almost say that's probably one of my favorite DCU movies.
Yeah, me too.
I think that it was written well. I think Zachary Levi hit it out of the park. I think his acting, I mean, he really had that childlike quality, And I thought, and I'm kind of scared for the new one because I want to like it. I really do because I really enjoyed the last Shazam movie. But I see the trailer and I'm like, really? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and here's the other thing.
Sequels on comic book movies it's like the sequels to comic book movies are the crappy comic book movies they made before. So they make a good one and then they make a crap one. Like Wonder Woman 84, that movie was terrible.
But you know what? Marvel, I'd have to say, did pretty good because I think Captain Miracle, Winter Soldier was phenomenal for a sequel.
Yeah, I mean they've got it pretty well.
They got the
down.
Formula.
Yeah, Warner Brothers is
thing
trying
about
to do the
superhero
old
movies.
school.
Yeah, I can read 100 superhero comics and read 100 different stories. I can see 4 superhero movies of the same superhero, and the 4th movie is the first movie.
Yeah.
Hey, new actor, reboot, tell the origin again, fight the same villain.
Are we talking about superhero or Star Wars? Because I think you just,
that too. That too.
I can only see Mrs. Wayne's pearl necklace break so many times.
Yeah, it breaks. The pearls bounce. They land in puddles of blood. Yeah, it's. We know it. We can only see Peter Parker get bitten by a spider so many times. We know how he got there. Move on. He's got,
which I think was good. Was smart about Marvel because when they brought on Tom Holland, they didn't do the origin story.
True,
Vic
they
Vega
didn't.
is
He
here?
just was there.
I'll be damned. Vic Vega's here.
Hey, Vic.
Yeah,
he's the anonymous Facebook user.
Yeah, he is.
Nice.
So
Haven't been
we're
on his
still
show
at
for a
219
minute.
folks. Would have loved to have seen this thing click over one, but
Yeah, that's all right. We went up 3 backers since we came on the show.
yes, 3 backers in. Can't complain about that. I mean, you got six more will break the record. We can get 6 more backers, any level, guys.
7
Any
more.
level.
7 more breaks the record.
Oh,
6 more
ties.
matches. Yep.
Gotcha. So
And we still got a whole day left, so it's possible.
it's definitely possible. And it's Kickstarter. So everybody comes in on the last day because that's when Kickstarter finally takes the money.
Yep.
I know I usually, I'll watch a Kickstarter all the way to the end and I'll have a note on my phone says, buzz up and says, hey, you wanted to back this today because I like my money to leave my account the minute I spend it, not hang around for
not like a month later.
You don't want them to actually get the interest. You want to earn that interest yourself.
Well, I get that, but I use my PayPal card for everything. So if I'm like out and I'm hungry, I'll say, what have I got in PayPal? Oh, I've got money in PayPal. I'll use it. And, maybe that PayPal money has been committed for 20 days to Kickstarter.
To marry Machinegun 4. It's been committed to marry Machinegun 4.
That's what it's committed to now. So I just got to remember, don't buy anything tomorrow. Without at least remembering that this is coming out. Oh, guys, this has been fun. You guys are just doing gangbusters with this, and I'm so happy for all. Hey, we just hit 220. 220.
Nice.
10,912. Gotta get my other videos carried over here. Have to find them again.
You'll get them. You'll find them somewhere.
I need a producer to help me run the show and keep track of all this stuff.
I know, right? Good help is so hard to find.
Nice.
It's not Pop's fault. It's my fault. I'm the one who keeps track of all the videos. I just got to load them.
On that thing with the puppet, I like at the very end how he looks at him under the brim of the hat.
Yeah. Marmalade's making a comeback. Marmalade.
I don't know if that was an accident or if it was dead on, but
I gotta say it. I've never seen anybody take a puppet with the same facial expression all the time and make it look like it's got a different facial expression every time it talks. RJ kills that puppet. Yo, okay,
it's fun. He's getting he's got a denim jacket coming in from eBay that he's going to start wearing. He's got his guitar. He's been practicing his new song, and it's he's a protest song guy. So it's he's doing a Weird Al thing on Neil Young's Immigration Man, and it's all about tabletop games.
Nice.
And Dungeons and Dragons, and 20-sided die, and it's basically a warning to folks, to don't let in the imitation fans.
All right. Vic Vega's the backer. Woohoo! Way to go,
Yeah,
Vic.
thank you, Vic. So yeah, that's 6 more backers, half a dozen, guys. 6 backers is cheaper than 6 eggs right now. You can get this done.
Yeah.
No kidding.
That's the one I picked.
Yeah.
That's the one I picked. Cover B. And then I threw on 1 through 3 just to round it out, because I wanted to read the whole thing in one shot now that I can.
Yeah.
Hang around after the show, guys. I want to talk to you both about something
Okay.
different for each one of you guys. And everybody in the chat, thank you so much for being here tonight. We don't have a show without you. So we're just a podcast falling in the woods otherwise. And as always, while you're here, we just hope you had a blast. Good night.